Lord Borelstein here with Fauntleroy.
Hello.
We're we're the last intellectuals, and we are really stupid. And we've been combing through the archives about the disaster that was Earth 2020. We've settled on the year 2020 because there's no way in relation to what the actual date is today. Pay no mind to that.
hmm hmm
We're just trying to piece together what happened to Earth. Why did it get destroyed? And so
And
today, what have we found? We found this great song. We're gonna try to analyze what Earth culture was
hmm
in one of their
hmm
big hits, "Get
from
Low"
there, yeah, yeah.
by Little John and the East Side Boys. And they had some interesting things going on in the news. Elderly people just dying for the sake of dying to help other people. Lots of unemployment. Lots of ignorance in their government. That's probably why they all died. And Kenyan police officers shooting 13-year-olds. That just makes sense.
That's just what you need.
Okay, so I'm most excited for this song.
I'm good. I'm happy. I'm happy.
Okay, so we should just take the lyrics as they come up, I think. So
Yeah, go ahead. Okay,
okay,
so just a little preface. I consider myself to be the kind of the cultural historian in this instance, so I can kind of translate what some of the more archaic dialect is, and Borley is just going to go through the straight
yeah, I'm
uh,
just gonna try to understand
verbatim. Yeah,
what it
I want to
is.
I want to hear
As
your
okay,
interpretation
okay, here we
first.
go.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
East Side Boys. Yup, Atlanta, Georgia, Mayday. So why are they already now? Mayday's like they're going down, right? What does that mean? Already we're crashing?
I think it's like so. My guess is Atlanta, Georgia, is like a cultural like hub for a lot of
Do they
like
have
that kind
like
of scene
levees and shit?
in Georgia.
I don't have no idea.
I mean, they had levees in New Orleans. No, so I think Mayday is like kind of a call sign. Like I think there are other groups that say things like that. Like
Oh,
or really
okay.
like a common phrase you'll hear from a lot of, I think it's from Georgia, Atlanta area. You ever hear people go hooty hoo?
Oh, okay. So this
Have you
is
ever heard that?
their
It's kind of like
phrase.
that.
This is
Yeah.
their forced call sign.
Like a call sign. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And to uncultured swine such as myself, I have no conception of that.
hmm
So okay, here we go in lyrics. Good to go, the dirty South again, Elephant Man, Lickle John Busta Rhymes. I assume one of these guys is the Elephant Man.
I
I hope, or they're
I
just
assume so. I think maybe Elephant Man is in East Side Boys. I don't know. I don't know
well,
that.
maybe they're bringing in uh David Lynch in the Elephant Man.
I think so. I think no. I think they're actually just making a reference to the Elephant Man um
That one
film
of their
because
members
they're
is
huge Lynch.
incredibly horrifying looking.
Either that or the East Side Boys are notorious Lynch fans.
Oh, okay.
You know.
That's impressive. I like that. I'm a movie fan myself, and I appreciate real respects real.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Real
speaking of
recognize
real, these
real.
lyrics are about to get real shit real fast.
You're not even
Okay.
halfway there, man.
Wah we fee do wid de dance.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
I'm sure that's pronounced differently in the song, but I got nothing. Oh,
It's just Jamaican.
oh, is that what it's supposed to be?
It's
So
like
I
a
didn't so I
Jamaican
didn't
it's a
pronounce it
Jamaican
correctly.
no.
Oh, okay. Oh, because this next part, Shizzle, Jamaica, New York, East Side Boys, come on. I don't know. That's the
Well,
problem.
yeah,
Uh,
that's a huge problem.
yes, that is a problem. Hey yo, Lickle John, Busta unalready fitek the dance floor. All right.
You
Okay.
know,
I
that
thought
really
I'm
was
getting into it.
an
I feel like I'm
awful
getting into it. I'm understanding a little more.
on a ready Fitekti dance floor.
Oh, okay, okay. I get that
Fitekti
now.
dance
I've
floor.
I've heard I've heard songs like
DISD.
that.
The dance floor.
Uh, okay, so
Oh yeah, get ready for this.
here we go. This Anna now Fido
Fee,
then do
fee.
then dance and
FI's
take it to them signal de plane. I didn't know there was Jamaican in this song.
I didn't either. It just
Pondy River
happens.
dance. I don't remember any of this shit. Um, but it's important that they it shows the diversity in the different styles of song because I've heard the song. I don't remember this shit at all.
Well,
Uh,
it's like it's really covered up by a lot of
by all the stupid boops and
instrumental.
whistles,
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
noises.
yeah.
Okay, let's get to the fun part of the lyrics.
Yeah, you got to get to the real stuff.
So here's the meat. This is the part that everybody remembers. Three
You
six
know,
nine.
yeah, here we
Damn,
go.
she fine. Hoping she can sock it to me one more time.
Ooh,
Low, get low,
get low.
get low,
Here,
get
I'll do
low.
the parentheses. I'll do the
Oh,
parentheses.
okay.
That's that'll
Low, get low,
get low.
get low,
Get low.
get low.
Come on.
To the window,
Give them the dance now.
to the wall,
To the wall. Busty dance now.
till the sweat drop down my balls.
My balls.
All these bitches crawl.
Crowl.
Y'all skeet, motherfuckers.
Motherfuckers.
All skeet, goddamn.
God damn.
Okay. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. I just gotta start at the top. 369. What the fuck does that mean? Is there 369 days in a year? Isn't it
So
50?
maybe 369 is either. Now I don't know how measurements work. My guess would be either
Oh,
or
I understand.
or it's like an area code maybe.
Oh, okay. Area code. So we got measurements, area code,
Let's look at
or
69.
I'm trying. I want to come. I want
Yeah,
to come. I
right.
want to theorize something else. See, I was assuming that there was some kind of like, Freemason Illuminati connection.
Hmm.
I don't because the 3 is straight east, and the 6 is straight south, and the 9 is straight north. So, um, I don't really know what to do with that, but I'm sure there are people who could make a 2 hour long video deconstructing all of society with that information. So hopefully that'll exist.
Apparently, it has some kind of reference to Nikola Tesla.
Oh, really?
So you're not very far off.
Holy fucking shit! I'm
Yeah.
the smartest person alive.
You know, when you're trying to be really, it's funny. When you're trying to be really stupid, you come up with things that are really profound.
Oh my gosh, that is so
It's
sad. I
odd
really,
sometimes.
I really struggled. So what is socket? Okay, I don't want to. I thought when I hear socket to me, I
Well, you
imagine someone's getting
know.
punched. Is Lil Wayne
Yeah.
a masochist? Does he like punishment?
Yeah, he does.
Well, I would assume
Look,
he would. I
listen
mean,
to
he's
his
rather
listen to his
short.
music.
Yeah,
Hoping she can suck it to me
it's
one
full of
more
pain. I've
time.
seen the Dave Chappelle where they have him. He's like talking all seriously and sad, and then he's just saying
That's I
stupid
like.
shit.
That's man. Dave Chappelle's show was such a gem in the rough for like the waste. Actually, I think Comedy Central around that time had a lot of pretty good kind of broadcasting. Then it just went to total garbage. Like
Yeah, I haven't watched TV in such a long time,
mid
and part of it is just
thousands.
it just
Well,
doesn't
I
feel like it's for me anymore.
honestly, who pays for TV? You know, like who
Yeah, like
would
you're paying
buy?
for advertisements.
Yeah,
Like
basically.
I have some ads on some things that I watch on Amazon Prime, but I don't really mind that because I get Amazon Prime by having Amazon Prime. Like
Yes, yeah, yeah,
it's not something I'm solely paying for
right,
in the
right.
respect of getting viewing movies and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, so Skeet. So how Skeet motherfuckers. Now I've come to understand what this is, and I have a little story about it that I
I
thought was
think
really
it's
funny. My professor, one of my two professors who taught this class, made this joke. They worked at a Mendota Mental Health, and they were talking about dealing with some of their uh, prisoners. I mean, they have juveniles who are on the far end of being requiring like higher terms of incarceration at like a prison or whatever. And what they would do is he's telling us a story. They put like, cum and piss and all
Mm.
sorts of saliva in like a
Uh,
little container, one of those like triangular little like cups for water. And then when you're
uh,
walking by, they like squirt it at you.
wow.
So, and he was using this as an example to talk about how, like, when you're in incarceration, criminals do something or people with criminal histories, they'll do things to act out, and then you'll ratchet down on security, and it's this like back and forth, constantly
Yeah,
ratcheting down and
yeah,
ratcheting down, ratcheting down.
yeah.
And so for this example, he's like, they'll do something, and then we'll come up with some kind of response to it. So
Mm-hmm.
he's like, yeah, I think we're gonna call them the skeet doors or the skeet skirts because they're gonna put skirts, like plastic skirts, around the doors so they can't shoot out their
Oh
skeet at
my
people.
God.
Like, well, I mean,
That's what a, I mean that's a like kind of non-invasive way of handling it at least.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't. It's
Shouldn't
pretty fucked up. I mean,
it
that's
shouldn't have to
another
be happening.
in a lot of other environments that would be a whole nother charge because I mean
You're
it's
launching cum at people.
sometimes apparently like feces all it's just like it's a cocktail.
Why? What possesses someone to do that? They just
Well, I mean, a lot of these the people from my understanding in this situation are people who like are have done some pretty serious crimes before the age of 18,
hmm
and they either go to there or whatever the other like juvenile or
yeah,
prison places in Wisconsin.
yeah.
Although they're shutting down another one, so I'm not. They're shutting down the one in the north, and I'm not sure what they're. They don't really have another plan. Just shut them all down without any actual plan and shove them in a regular prison, I guess.
Great.
But
They could use proper mentors.
yeah, the Mendota mental health place actually has a pretty good system, but it's just a matter of getting the funding on board. And
Right, right.
Governor Scott Walker during his time defunded the place pretty heavily. So even though it per dollar invested in terms of the benefit of society
hmm
going forward, it was a pretty great benefit because it that reduced the recidivism rate
Yeah.
and of violent recidivism by a lot, which is really what you want because when people violently offend, they take people out of the economy.
hmm
And sure they're going to reoffend. Most people will when they get out of jail, but it's a matter of like how damaging is
How?
it on the
Yeah,
economy?
yeah,
Because at the end of the day, all we care about is money.
yeah.
That's how
That's
these
the
things are
society
analyzed.
we live in. It's kind of a fucked up metric when you think about it.
Yeah. So Skeet. So how long in like have you ever heard Skeet censored on the radio since the song came out?
I don't think it even maybe recently now that word got out, it may have you may only hear like I mean that whole line would be censored out if Skeet was gone though.
I mean, if people
They,
knew
they'd
what
say
Skeet was.
y'all blank blank maybe mother blank.
Yeah. Wait, have you heard things where they have like inversion censorship where they censor
They go backwards.
where it's
Like
like
they make this the
like
sound.
they'll censor mother and then have
Oh,
like
yes, yes.
fuckers or they'll
That's
censor God and have damn.
yeah. I mean, with that one, it's like
Now,
with goddamn, I
it's
get
like they're trying to like they're gonna have the swear, but they don't want the swear associated with like
super
other things.
bad or
Like, oh,
whatever.
don't
Yeah.
say that about my mother.
Yeah, but why can you have fuck to begin with?
Which
Well, I
all
just
this actually relates to our shit tag, but we'll get to that later.
that's later in the episode. Well, I just think it's funny that like this song played at middle school dance, like middle school and up dances across the country
And they're
because
just the
nobody
skeet
knew.
skeet goddamn shake your ass girl.
Nobody, and then like it's just funny how people like when they I guess it's a part of getting older or something. They're like, oh my god, lyrics are so raunchy and terrible, and girls are talking about dripping all over the floor. This is this is disgusting. But it's like, dude, Little John was talking about skeeting all over the walls and the windows.
Because the girls' booties are
It's too damn
flapping all over
fine.
the place apparently.
Like music's always been like this. I mean, even if you go back to like songs from the Beatles and stuff, like talking about like All Night Long and things like that, like they're just being a little more subtle, but it's you get what the idea is. They're talking about fucking broads all night.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
No,
I just
music
think
has always been. I mean, other
that's what it
well,
is.
but when it's had lyrics,
Yeah.
it's just another form of expression, and people have different things to express, and some things go, a little bit against the grain of what is culturally acceptable to be expressed, but to pretend to like there was this is a big thing. This is a big fucking thing. The reality of it, and not so much in 2020, but like in the 90s and 80s, like these mothers groups against
Mm,
vile cultural
yeah, yeah,
movies. Like a lot of these things have had lots of historical problems
yeah.
in terms of just like trying to censor and control
Certain
what is
groups.
being expressed.
Yeah,
And that is in a lot of ways these generally it's bored white housewives. A lot of, I mean
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
generally white women from my understanding of it, but it's usually white people, and it's usually just like I don't want to hear other cultures. I mean
Right,
it really
right,
is like
right.
an inadvertent kind of
In so much.
like white supremacy. Like I
Yeah.
don't want to have to engage with another culture that inhabits my society. I'm going to
Well,
shut down your ability to express yourself and only allow my boring milk toast shows and things like that.
do you think that's just a kind of a virtue of because they're either like married to or people in power to begin with? Because like that mother's,
Well, to be
it
a
wasn't
bored housewife requires you to be privileged in for
right.
that
Exactly.
position.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, assuming a little bit about these people, but I mean, yeah, that's really what it comes down to. There are people who have the time to do that. The people who are in politics are people who have the time to be able to do that, or are people who
They're
are making
married
a sacrifice
usually.
for it.
Yeah.
But generally, people who are political agents for anything are people who have the time to do it. And the problem is that most people don't have the time to be political agents, even in their own life, let alone the lives of anybody else.
Well, but that's what people. That's kind of the point of I don't know of having these agents, isn't it? Because people just want
Like
to.
elected officials to do that on our
Yeah,
behalf. Yeah,
yeah. They
that's the
just want to
idea.
get rid of that
But
burden, as it were. But
like
I think we all still bear the burden of like knowing a little bit because you can't just let them go and do whatever they want 24/7.
yeah, everyone
That's
should be
not
the
good. You can't-
as I wholeheartedly believe every person should be the smartest person in their own life, and if that's
No,
not the
yeah.
case, then they should work harder to do that. Speaking of being the smartest person in their own lives, I wish this guy it doesn't have his name on there. This is so sad. I hate when they don't call people out. So the governor of Mississippi rejected locking down the state, saying that they're never going to be China. And about a day later, Mississippi has the highest COVID-19 hospitalization rate. How how could those two
Well,
things relate?
they're not gonna be like China,
Yeah, they won't be
because
like China. They'll be dead.
China's hospitalizing people.
Yeah, the difference there is that you'll be dead. And here's the great part also in the news that even when they get to the hospital, you're an old person. You're like, oh yeah, I'm 90 years old. I'm
Hmm.
gonna die. There's so few ventilators and whatever the fuck technology shit
Yeah,
that
yeah,
they use to keep these people alive who have it. I guess it was a respirator that
yeah.
this old lady said that she would go without so that they could have some younger person have it because
That's
they're fine with their life.
what a what a scenario we have to put people in.
Yeah,
America
that's
does have the best healthcare system, though.
it's the yes, it has the
It's
best
the
healthcare
greatest.
system, and we can see that proven by on this tweet by Chris Lowish. He looks like a tough guy. Um, yeah, that's how I would describe him as. So, as with all things Paul Krugman, there is a group of haters who are intellectually impaired. Paul Krugman posted a graph about the cases from the first day of cases onward, and basically the U.S. is one of the worst. We've been doubling every day until the 16th day. It looks like now this is pretty old, but yeah, we've been basically doubling every day up until looks like the 16th day, and then we've kind of tapered off a little bit because our response to the coronavirus was so fucking delayed because
Slow,
we have
yeah.
a literal retard as the president. Um, Now, why? Okay, to stop this for a second, but
Mhm.
I don't understand anything about retard being not an okay term. I mean, because you're making fun of people who are mentally disabled, but I
Yeah,
call people
that's
who are mentally disabled like
well,
developmentally impaired or something. When somebody's
I
being a
I
retard, I call them
know.
a retard.
It's just I think
Am I Michael
I
Scott
get
right now?
no, I was just gonna say, I mean, it goes to the Michael Scott quote. I honestly, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I try to understand like every angle of things like that, because um, I think it makes it seem like I don't know, because it's putting like saying that like retarded people are
I guess if I'm saying
stupid,
he's being a retard, that is wrong. I should say he is a retard.
but then
Because if I'm
it's
saying he's being a retard, then there are people to compare him
but
to that I look down upon. That's wrong.
yeah,
I
well
should
the
say that he is a retard, and retards are a specific case of people who should have
exactly.
the intelligence and the responsibility to do something and they don't.
Exactly. Well, I
You
think it's
know?
like it's carrying over the old idea that a retard is someone with a mental disability.
Yeah, and that's not
You
what I
know,
mean. Like
it's
somebody,
like
I understand somebody like that.
we need to have like a line in the temporal sand and be like, this is where retard stopped being for people with mental disabilities, and now it's for people who are retarded,
Yeah,
people people who are just fucking stupid.
yeah,
It's not an
and if you're in a
ableist thing.
position where you brag about your intelligence and you have this responsibility, and people are going to die because you have chosen otherwise, bang bang, you get the retard award.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know?
really but like, isn't that kind of an example of like when people say that like things like PC culture run amok, like
Yeah, I mean,
trying to
eventually, at
censor
some point,
words? That's
we would lose the ability to insult somebody because like you can't still call somebody an idiot because you're shaming people who are dumb. And it's like, well, that is true, but I mean, these are all these statements I'm making are value statements.
yeah, yeah.
I very much cherish my First Right Amendment to insult people with a variety of terms that are insensitive, with the full knowledge that I understand what these terms mean, how
Exactly.
they've been historically have been led to mistreat people badly, and with that knowledge, I wish that that historical mistreatment was brought upon this individual person that I am now calling that. That's what I'm saying. Like I
That's
don't.
funny. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I get it.
yeah,
Yeah.
fuck Trump and his whole dumb fucking family. But anyway, so there's this article about Paul Krugman put out, or an article in a graph, and the graph is what everyone's really interested in. And you can basically see a bunch of these Asian countries all had really strict responses, and they all their curves really are either,
They
you know,
flatten.
they're really flat. They're really flat. You know, South Korea, they had huge fucking
That's
testing.
nuts, man.
Their per
That's so
capita testing
cool,
is
dude.
insane compared to us. And Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore. I mean, Singapore is like a city state.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hong Kong is also a city state, but Japan and South Korea, those are nations, and that's worth
Big,
taking note.
big news.
So USA is the worst. So what
Uh,
is Chris
so,
Lowe's response? Because you said America has the best healthcare. He is going to tell us how Paul Krugman's wrong.
well, you see, my all-American hero says Paul doesn't understand that we have the highest confirmed cases because we have the most testing. Do you know that all these people are getting tested?
We
The
have the
most
most
accurate
testing.
testing
True.
and the highest rate of testing. Paul doesn't
True.
understand. Paul doesn't understand a lot, but this is grossly incompetent, quote unquote, reporting.
I
Who are these
love.
people? Who are these people getting tested? I've heard so many
Yeah,
stories
like we're not.
of
We don't.
people
First off, our
not
per
getting
capita testing is
tested.
fucking garbage. Second
Yeah.
off, accurate. Sure, whatever. Like I don't
Yeah,
know
I
enough
mean
about
that's
that, but I would
yeah,
assume all
yeah,
the
yeah.
tests are accurate. And the highest rate of testing. Well, isn't
Well,
no,
doesn't
definitely,
that
absolutely not the highest rate of
yeah,
testing.
yeah. Well,
That was
doesn't
South
the
Korea. South Korea had like 10K per cat, or like, well, actually that's not correct. You'd have to say that in the other way. But I mean, they were doing like 10K a day like a fucking over a month ago.
yeah.
Like
So
we're
why are tests so hard to come by? Like why
well, I
don't
think it
is
has to
that just
do
a
with like just the total like so there was like
manufacturing error?
I think, well, it's in part Trump's slow response, and
Hmm.
it's also in part, I think, Trump or his at least parts of his administration denied World Health Organization assistance in
Mm.
acquiring testing or things like that, and they have also like Trump has not, you know, done anything to reach out to get other places testing, presumably based on things that I've read that Trump tried to buy a certain test from like Germany or some shit so that he could own it.
What the
Like
f-
imagine think
That's
of how
awesome.
quaint politics was when who the fuck was that guy? The fucking old white guy. He was the not Eisenhower. The guy who was the guy before Reagan or whatever. Dwight? No, it's not fucking Eisenhower. I don't remember his name, but he's still alive. I don't think he died yet.
What did he do? What
Uh,
Carter?
yeah, Carter, I think. Didn't
Jimmy
he
Carter.
sold like a peanut farm or something,
Oh, that's
right?
right. That was the big, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like think about how quaint
I
politics used to
know.
be.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
sold a peanut farm because that would be, in breach of like the
yeah.
interests of the president to have a business while being president. But here we have Trump who literally is using the Secret Service and everything, having all these meetings at at
And
places that
some
he owns
powers. Yeah, yeah.
for his own benefit. And Republicans are just like so fucking literally stupid and dumb that they're like, yeah, that's good. He's a businessman. Yeah, use like it must just be so hard to be a like imagine if like to be a Republican, you just have to just your brain must be in fucking like
Bootleg
overdrive.
mode, dude. It's in bootleg mode. Like
Yeah, I mean,
it's
yeah,
all
that's
you
it. I mean,
know.
because like I'm
Just
giving them the benefit of
follow
the doubt that they actually
orders.
have thought processes, but the reality is there's just nothing going on. Because if there is, it's like, okay, I'm a Republican. Boy, do I hate taxes. Boy, do I hate my money going to undeserving people. Oh, but Trump, that's fine. You take all my taxes and you pay for them at your businesses because I want to lick your boot. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Like, there's just
Mhm.
no way around it. You're just abso-fucking-lutely like, I don't know. It just
Well,
makes really make me
but
think.
that's kind of the sad thing. Like that's like the elite of the Republican Party. Then you have like common people, like the red-blooded American working class that just maybe they care about like one or two things, and that's the giant net that the Republican Party has set out to catch like the people that care about a few things, and then they just identify as a Republican. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I mean,
like people that care about probably mostly
the Republican Party
socialist type
is
ideas.
the people who set the agenda for the Republican Party are not people who are even a part of the Republican Party, and they're the people who are the donators.
Yeah,
That
yeah, yeah.
being said, the people who set the agenda are setting an agenda that is against what they're even saying, and that's the real mystery
That's the
of
thing.
the
Yes,
Republican
yeah,
Party,
yeah.
is that for the last fucking like, at least 40 fucking years, well, ever since the tax code changed in fucking 86, 86 or 76, I think 86, we have been engaging in the Republican Party has been engaging in rhetoric that says one thing, and then when they're elected in power, does the exact fucking opposite. I
Uh-huh.
mean, Republicans have been railing on fucking minorities for how fucking long, and sure, they've done a lot of stuff that hurts poor people, and Lee Atwater's Southern strategy. You're getting so abstract now. You're talking about all these, reducing
Mm-hmm,
taxes, but at
mm-hmm,
the end of the
mm-hmm.
day, blacks get hurt more than whites. I mean, that's what he said.
That's a crazy quote, dude. He's like, it's like, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you could run around and say N-word, N-word, N-word.
Yeah, but now you can't
Now
say
you have
N-word,
to
and
get
that
so
hurts you.
obscure. Yeah, you have to get so obscure, and you have to be talking about, yeah, like you said, taxes and
Forced
but
busing,
force
states'
busing.
rights,
Yeah,
and all these
yeah.
things you're saying are political things, but
I mean, but states' rights has been a thing that's been used like a code word for a lot of generally not great things.
yeah, it's
It kind
usually
of
like what
kind of
happens when there's.
strange.
I mean, well, the
I can't.
partially fortunate part of uh states' rights is usually the calling card of whatever party's not in power to protect
Mhm,
itself from the overreach of the federal
mhm,
government.
mhm.
But I don't know. Maybe hopefully Democrats will do states' rights on Trump's administration wanting to change Medicare, Medicaid to block grants, which would effectively end all health care in America. People would the highest cause of death if we had block grants for healthcare would instantaneously be reduced ability for coverage because this already happens in the Indian health services in America is that the amount of funding that exists covers 50% of the need for healthcare that is currently being provided. Only 20% of American Indians live near reservations to get any of these services. So 50% of 20% of American Indians are getting taken care of currently in the IHS, and the IHS is funded via a block grant type system where they get one amount of money for the year, and when it's out, it's done. That's it. Now there are they have to ration it, and certain surgeries are elected, certain surgeries aren't to be done, and you have to be in an area where you can even have them. Like that is what we would have in America with block grants for healthcare. Now the other side says, "Oh, but they'll have to innovate, and that'll make things better." Because when when I
I
tell you to
love
do something for
innovation.
$12, well, if I tell you to build a spaceship for $12,
You're
you know
gonna
what's
do
gonna happen? Absolutely, I'm gonna take $12 and I'm gonna go fucking watch a movie.
it.
That's what happens. That's what innovation is on a fucking
Yeah,
shoestring
yeah,
budget. It's
yeah,
fucking watching a movie. Like,
yeah.
it's fucking dumb, is what it is. I mean, wow, boy, the Earthicans sure were dumb in that period.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're just saying it as if
We
in
as
like the
if we were a
lens
part of it.
of
We're floating off
uh,
in space, just going over things. We got this historical tweets to read from.
I'm
Uh,
so happy that this archive we found this floating
the Wayback Machine.
meme yeah, we tapped into the Wayback Machine. It was just floating in the
Yeah,
airwaves,
yeah.
the space waves.
The beams of the Earth news are just getting to us now on
Mind
our planet. So we're experiencing the news as they experienced it at the time in 4/20/20. Oh, that's interesting.
For 2020.
Oh, I'm getting a beam right now. Oh, it's coming in. Oh, it's coming in hot.
You're
Oh,
just
it's from this an amazing leader in political thought. Looks like his name is Ben Shapiro.
I remember seeing him while combing the archive a couple times. He's
Yeah, yeah. He
truly
was
a great intellectual man,
yes, and very,
a
very,
genius,
very tall
and strong.
and strong. Okay, and his doctor wife, who I'm convinced is not a doctor or his wife. But he's got a great quote here in response to some lady. I don't know who this person is. No name.
Yeah,
Whoever.
but it's I don't know, it's a verified account though,
It's a
so
verified account, so she must
or
mean
whatever that's
something. But
worth.
anyway,
Yeah.
so the first thing here, this lady, she's saying, I want my daughter to be a strong, assertive woman. She can do that with her mind, not her body. That's the message I'm trying to teach. So
That's not
so
bad.
this lady, she's just making a comment.
Hmm.
She's just saying some things. And political commentator Ben Shapiro has this is how you be an effective political commentator. You come out of the bushes, you come out of the rafters, you come
Hmm.
out of the woodwork, and you thrust your opinion in their orifices.
Hmm.
This is how you get your message out. So what does Ben Shapiro have to say?
He says, false. True feminism is getting as bare as possible and showing horny men what they want to see. Hashtag Beyonce.
Now, do you think he's saying that
I
he wants to see
don't.
Beyonce naked?
Well, so my guess is when that tweet went out, Beyonce maybe did
Was like
something or said
a big
something.
feminist icon at the time.
Yeah, or she just, said like girl power, and then the I guess hypocrisy drones are like, "Oh, well, you can't have girl power cuz look at your music videos. I jerk off to them 2 times a day."
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what he's saying. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
it
literally saying
is.
true feminism is getting naked and showing horny men what they want to see. Like,
I don't
I am
understand.
fucking.
I don't understand. Like, there's so many ways you can take that, and like, do you think he found
You know
that?
what's.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
You know what the most disgusting thing of this is?
What?
He's talking to some lady who's talking about her daughter,
I
and
know.
presumably her daughter is like an
Little baby.
un of age child.
Yeah,
And this guy's
a
saying,
little
no,
baby.
your daughter should be getting naked and letting guys look at it. Horny men. What the? I mean,
Well, I mean, he's trying to say that it's
I
like
mean, he's being
feminists
facetious.
are,
It
yeah,
seems
yeah.
like,
He's
but
being an
it's so
idiot.
stupid. I don't think it even can be considered facetious. I think it's just stupid.
No, it's an attempt. It's another conservative attempt at humor. It was
Oh, it's
a nice
so
try.
stupid. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the
Nice,
case.
nice try. You got us.
Man,
Got me
that
laughing.
that one's gonna put me out of work for a while.
Did you want to talk about the Zoom thing? Is that what we're talking about?
That'll really put me out of work. Oh
Uh,
man, well,
we can shelve that.
let's just tip our hats at the apparently the U.S. has weekly job losses doubled to 6.6 million. Last week it was like what 3.3 million, and that was like way higher than it's ever been historically. But we got to give more money to corporations.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna be giving the money out eventually, right?
Yeah,
Even if it
out of
is
this,
pennies on the dollar.
even if it's being recirculated from people to them, they're gonna get money anyway. It's an interesting concept because anytime there's a crisis or a big government stimulus, it's always a time for the government to pick winners and losers.
Hmm.
And in this, I don't remember too much about the specifics, but there was a big issue. Um, if you remember the term like a day CEO,
No,
this
it
is
sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't remember the context for it.
from what I understanding is that organizing the response to World War II in America was pretty difficult because
Hmm.
America had some problems, but America also had like infrastructural problems. We didn't have the highway system or anything like that.
Hmm.
So in order to get everything on the same page, a lot of the big businesses at the time sent their CEOs to essentially work for a day or a very reduced wage, considering what they would be making otherwise, to be political lobbyists or agents helping the government you know respond to World War II and to
Hmm.
mobilize itself essentially.
Hmm.
But the reality of it is that they're just there to ensure that their company is getting a larger portion of whatever pie is going to be doled out,
Right.
which was
Right.
the case. Most money went to the big corporations from these people who were there, lobbying about how to handle these situations. And in that, government picks winners and losers in an economy, and how the government responds decides who wins and loses in an economy. And in this case right now, like picking how to treat certain corporations in certain ways. Like every corporation needs different kinds of responses to be
Hmm.
protected. Grocery stores need different responses than places that are out of employees. Places that
Right.
have essential workers that are still doing business and still making money,
Yeah.
they don't really need to worry as much as businesses where it's like, well, I can't do anything for the next,
Right.
I can't pay the lease on the building that I'm in. I'm not
Hmm.
going to be able to do any, like, you have to respond differently to different businesses. And the problem that we have currently in America is that there's just really nothing set up to handle this crisis when it comes to like small business owners and things like that.
Right.
So I hope the bill at least covered them a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's so funny because again, that's part of the big Republican narrative is like we love small business owners, are the foundation of this country. But then why are they never getting actual support from the party?
Yeah, I mean
That
that's
says
part of
that like
that.
the
Say one thing,
lifeblood.
do another, and then
Yeah,
somehow
yeah.
like because by the time you're in power, doing things in power, nobody's paying attention.
Hmm.
Nobody's really reporting on what happens in terms of like politics in a meaningful way. It's like
Right. After
it's
an election.
all ratings and bullshit. Like if you want to have real news, you need to watch things that are about as close to unbiased as possible, like
Well, I think that's becoming
NPR,
it's
anything that's
becoming
like
difficult for people to find things that are
yeah,
unbiased or things that they even perceive to be unbiased.
yeah, like
You
Fox
know,
News. That's the most unbiased.
it's the least biased. They just say the news. I mean, it's in the name.
I guess we can finish out these news things before we get on the segment since we're almost there. Uh, so this week, some cops in America, did they get killed? Yeah, probably. I mean, there's a lot of shootings going on from what I've seen. A lot of people are getting stressed out and freaking out and just reacting
Really?
violently in America. But I
Wow.
really found this case to be just so fucked
S-
up.
Stunning.
So apparently, Kenya has a pretty harsh policy when it comes to curfew and the coronavirus, and a police officer shot a 13-year-old boy. Now you think, oh, he must have been playing around, lollygagging
Hmm.
outside, right? No, he was on the balcony of his family's building, and he shot him. So yeah, I don't know. Could you like? I
This
could
is
never imagine
nuts, man.
like living in a place. I mean, this is almost reaching Duerte levels of like shooting people. Like,
Well, the thing was, Duarte even told people like he was more a fan of like vigilante
yeah,
justice,
he
which is
wanted you to
even
kill all drug
scarier. He's just
dealers.
like, if you find a drug dealer, go ahead and kill him. He deputized the entire country of the Philippines. God bless that man.
Yeah, I mean, and in some instances, maybe that's the level to go if it's so bad. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know
but
anything about the Philippines. I'm not gonna pass judgment.
yeah,
But
but
like
but
when it
I
comes to if some little boy's hanging out in his home, that's pretty fucked up.
well, but like
Maybe he was a drug dealer.
to give, well, or it was just bad blood between the families.
Yeah, there's. I mean, and that's the thing. People seem to forget, like when you see the word police or cop, you think like it's a
They're not
literally like
object.
an agent,
Yeah, yeah,
like a
yeah,
Terminator. I
yeah.
mean, that's what I think.
They're not. They removed the humanity from it.
Yeah, like that's what you think when you read about them in the news. But if you ever interact with a cop, it's like they run the gambit of like
There's
fucking
a lot
stupid
of
to completely inept.
baggage. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like it is just, and kind of intentionally so. There's a story one of my professors would say in my capstone class. Actually, he told it twice in two classes. But basically, there was some state, or no, it was a major city in the south. They had hired the first police officer with a PhD, and they were really proud about that. They were bragging about it.
Hmm.
So then what happened was is that two cops basically shot two black kids, and it was not cops were apparently in the wrong. I don't know the details, but cops were in the wrong. And what happened was is that so he immediately suspended the two cops pending investigation, and like wanted to make sure that they were not on the field. Within a week, they had the sheriff uh, like kicked out because the right for cops to shoot and kill black kids was more important than actually holding people shooting and killing black people responsible.
Hmm. Hmm.
And yeah, so I think he went on to be a sheriff somewhere else, or a governor somewhere in a
It's
non shithole
usually what
place.
ends up happening. Yeah.
But like, could you imagine like how fucking dumb your brain has to be to like? I mean, this has got to be just a bunch of angry white people. And there's no way fucking black people are asking to get shot and killed more by cops. Like,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
not.
and
Not
I think
working.
that's and that's the sad part is like that's the power of white outcry, white fragility, where it's like,
Yeah.
oh no, our ability to shoot and kill black people is getting infringed upon. You're
I know.
whining and you can get the sheriff gone, but black people
Yeah.
have to demonstrate, for like fucking, physically in places and block traffic to even get fucking
Hmm.
like
Any attention?
recognition.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it is a fucking astronomically.
Well, and then it procs the white fragility even harder because they
Yeah, because they're
see
like, oh
that
no, what do you mean you're
you
saying
can't
you're
take
having
it.
bad times? I got the hardest
All,
times.
all lives matter. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, which is
Like,
like,
no, it's to bring attention to the fact that there's, a little discrepancy here.
yeah, I mean, just look at how fucking education funding works. Like, use your fucking brain for 5 seconds.
Well, that would require some education, so
Speaking of
maybe.
education and using your brain, there's nothing that requires more brain usage than defending your dissertation. But how are you going to defend your dissertation when we got social distancing? You're going to do it on Zoom. But oh no, you do it on Zoom and somehow it gets hijacked by 4chan.
Ah,
So there was a guy, he is African American. He was defending his dissertation on Zoom, and the other professors are there, and they're listening to him. And apparently, some trollers had gotten into the Zoom conference and drew a penis over his presentation and wrote the N word.
that's
And
so.
the story doesn't end there, though. It's pretty fucked up. Shouldn't probably do that. But I would assume this was one of the ladies who was a professor or something listening to him, and she has issued an ultimatum to Zoom and its CEO, saying that they're giving them 5 days to come up with a solid plan that works to ensure that people and institutions who pay to use their platform are protected from cyber attacks. Now, this is not a cyber attack, and apparently I've been told that you can just turn off annotations, and then the only way they would really be able to respond would be verbally, but I'm pretty sure you can mute other people.
Hmm.
So there's really no reason. I mean, this is
No,
just
it's just they don't know how
her,
to use technology, dude. This is a
yeah,
classic case of,
of boomers trying to use technology and not knowing how to deal with it and
and
not
then
knowing how to
thinking
move on
technology,
from it. And
and then
that's the
thinking
best part is
technology
like,
bad.
and not knowing how to move on from it. So it's like you're
Even
gonna,
a
I don't know
bigger deal.
what the, I think it's been past the 5 days. The statute, no, no, wait, let me see here. How long was this
When
month?
when was this?
This is
It was the
28.
28th?
Oh, no,
No,
we're
not
on day
yet.
6, I think.
No, we're almost there. Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, so oof, or no, is it day 6 tomorrow? I don't know. Well, we'll see. We'll see what the big reveal will be. But she is mad, and oh my god, she is a Yale alum. Oh, dude, I fucking hate, dude. I hate finding out that people have educations that are fucking and they're fucking stupid.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
from Yale. She's so fucking dumb. She doesn't know how to turn off. Now, I'm not saying that what they did is okay. That's fucking horrible. Being racist and
Right,
shit's bad. But
right.
like, you can't. Don't brag about being from Yale and being fucking stupid at the same time. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
that
You
would
can't
I would
control the
if I went to
situation.
one of those things, I would never tell anybody else from those places because your
It's
expectation of not being stupid is
It's
so
get so much
high.
higher.
You're
Yeah,
fucked. You know.
yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
want people to have the lowest expectations of possible of me. That's why I spend all my time pretending I'm a retard.
Pretending.
Oh, whoops, I forgot.
Oh no, the
Oh,
jig is almost up.
but yeah, so if you're gonna use Zoom, make sure to take care of yourself. Don't allow yourself to fall prey to a 4chan trollers. And
I've seen a lot of videos. It's usually kind of high school students. Most people in college level aren't gonna like do dumb stuff. Of people like doing troll stuff on.
yeah, I mean, well, they got all the time in the world now, right?
It's a rife. Oh no, that's what it just reminded me of the George Zimmerman trial.
Oh yeah, where people were calling in.
When in the middle of so George Zimmerman was the famous case with Skittles, Lipton, what was his name?
I have no
Trayvon
idea.
Martin.
Trayvon
The
Martin.
the
Zimmerman was the
famous
one who
Trey
shot him.
Zimmerman was the one who shot him. Trayvon Martin was the kid that was walking around just minding his own business. Until Zimmerman on the call is like, "Oh, I see this on a call with the cops, like I see this weird guy, like he's just looking suspicious." And then the operator's like, "Okay, well, just hang tight, don't do anything. I'm gonna go get him." And then lo and behold, stand your ground kicks in and he just shoots him in the face or whatever.
No,
And
Zimmerman
then
isn't entirely white though, is he?
no, he's like
He's like Latino, I
off
think.
he's like off Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 I just before I wanted to say the white right to kill people, but it doesn't. It's just
Oh, passing white.
yeah, yeah, white passing a
It's
little bit or honorary white, but the end of the day
yeah,
is
yeah.
that there's one race that suffers more than others usually when it comes to these things, and it's poor black people. It's
Okay, so
everybody's right to kill black people in America is essentially what a lot of the laws amount up to.
yeah, a lot of your states' rights. I love my guns type people. So in the middle of his trial, the defense, I think it was the defense or the prosecution. I don't know, either one. Uh,
You pick.
I'm gonna pick the prosecution. It was yeah, because I remember he looked like a really sleazy type of dude. So the prosecution brought in like a witness that was on a Skype call, and then the notorious hacker group 4chan found the Skype that they were using and started calling in, and they just started getting bombed with just Jim Ding Dong's trying to call you. Larry Ling Long wants to call you. And they're sending him messages, and then it just it starts off kind of slow. It's like, oh, one person, okay, well, let's turn that off, and then it's kind of like, ooh, and then the screen is full of just Skype calls popping up on the screen. The judge is like, okay, we can't do this. Do we have like a normal phone we can use? Get this off of here. Get this out of here. And it's again classic case of older people not knowing technology, so they can't even like get out of the Skype call or like turn Skype off or appear offline or whatever. So they're just constantly getting calls. And my favorite uh call was it was a picture of this half naked black guy eating, like sucking on a candy cane, and his name is Jaffa. And I've seen some memes of it. I mean, I'm sure like half of you watching, so half of a person has probably seen Jaffa's Calling, or like for the meme archive. Have you ever seen it's like a meme format that's like that's like God. Have you ever seen the meme where it's like God is calling, do you answer? And then
Like
it like has like
the Skype thing, and it's like answer and answer.
yeah. But then I've seen an edit that's Chop is calling, do you answer?
Yeah. Now, the reason was able to call in is that this was a big public case, so it was being
Oh, it's just sitting
televised
right
and it was
there.
on TV, and people they had the Skype, their account on
Yeah, it was
the
visible.
TV,
Yep.
so you could just see their name and just call right in and just like start saying some shit. So they just started getting all these like contact requests and stuff. So it was really one of the best times of all time.
What a great time to be alive.
Yeah, God, I love the internet. I love people's inability to like not know how to like. This is something I try to talk about um, when it comes to conceptualizing the world, is that your understanding or concept of the world should not end at yourself. Like you
Hmm.
should always
Hmm.
be thinking about like not how someone always is going to hurt you, but what are all the possibilities of something? Like
Right.
oh, so we have this like program where we're going to be connecting with the guy, and like it just takes one person to be like, we probably shouldn't put the screen on the TV because then people can see. Like it would be like
Yeah.
it's the equivalent of like, oh, posting somebody's phone number in the bathroom stall or something.
Uh-huh.
Like you
Uh-huh.
just have to use some brain cells. But
Yeah.
the problem is like
Not gonna end
so
well.
many people use new technology as if it's like they have there's no analog for new tech, that like they
Right.
can't compare it to anything that they've experienced historically. And I haven't experienced cell phone numbers in a bathroom stall or phone numbers in a bathroom stall. That's something that's even before,
That's so
that I would be
archaic. Yeah.
born.
Yeah.
But like if you just pay attention to the world, you can use things that are available to you to protect yourself from getting harmed in the future. And to do that, you need to think about what people could do with something and how people are jokesters.
Or even have someone more reliable.
Yeah,
Like
somebody
just
around,
have
but
like
no,
a
but no
computer
place
network.
does that,
I mean,
unfortunately.
that's the saddest thing. I mean, this is kind of going off, but like I feel that way about most workplaces should have some kind of like work psychologist or psychiatrist.
Or
You
some
know,
like
like
work non-idiot guy who's there to be like,
but then they don't want to pay someone to quote unquote do nothing.
yeah,
Like
it's not
if you're
producing
not
direct value. I don't
yes,
see it. Go
yes,
away.
yes, if you're not contributing to the literal output that I'm looking at, it doesn't happen. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, I mean, to give you an idea of how bad like electronic protections are, I mean, electronic protections can be good, but like let's not forget Sony was hacked because the passwords for all their systems were stored on a notepad titled passwords, which
But
is
that is such
the
a
greatest
yeah.
leaks that have ever happened because we got to see the emails between the Sony movie CEO lady and her spitballing ideas for movies. And it has some great fucking conversations.
That
Holy
has
shit.
to be a fly on the wall in like a lot of these
It is exactly what you imagine, what everybody cynically has talked about Hollywood, is that it's just
uh-huh.
literally a person with nothing better to do, spitballing who do we have as an available director, what do we
Yeah.
have as available IPs, and how can we spin this into a movie that we can shit out in a fucking year or 2 years from now.
Well,
And
yeah,
that's it.
because it's
Like that is all of her emails, and it just seems like where's the art?
well, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I was gonna get to, I mean, when anything becomes like a business, there are people that have the notion that, oh, it's just gonna make it better. You're gonna have to, if you want to uh have a lot of people pay for a product, you got to make it a really good product. But like we've seen with like big action Hollywood schlock that like it doesn't have to be good. People are gonna show up. Like
Yeah, like
it's
there's
the
so
same
much more
thing.
that goes into something being good. And when it comes to art, like
I feel the same
how
way
do you
with
determine what
food.
is good?
Like food is art. I
Yeah,
just
food
because you're
is a
paying.
natural resource. Art, you take some natural shit around you, you turn it into something that's tasty for your mouth.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of different kinds of art. There's like vocal art, like just talking to people. I think that's a form of art that
You
gets
mean
neglected a lot.
ASMR?
No, no, no. I don't like
We're
that.
very
I This one does not
if you're
spark
pro, what if
joy.
you're not pro for something? What are we? We don't say you're a con. or
Oh,
anti.
like if you're if you,
This is
yeah,
welcome to the
yeah, I would be.
anti ASMR podcast.
No, it would be, you have to be. Welcome to the anti ASMR podcast. I am here.
ASMR podcast. That's how we should do all the introductions.
uh, yeah, let's have an ASMR episode.
When we just whisper the whole time.
We'll whisper and we'll like
Turn that mic
rub
gain up to 4,000.
we'll rub the microphone on our pubes and everyone will be really really happy.
That would be good.
That's my form of ASMR.
I mean, that's basically like if you're a girl, it's banana eating, and if you're a guy, it's pube rubbing. So that's my understanding of it.
In the incel's mind, do you think that no, never mind. I was gonna go somewhere really stupid.
Oh, okay.
Really dumb.
Well, we can do a 1-star movie review
Okay.
if you want. Okay, so I
Please.
got a movie here. It's a movie that if you don't get this one, I'm gonna be real sad.
Okay, well, get ready. Prepare your tissues.
Okay, so I'm gonna read the 1-star reviews now. Here we go.
Mhm.
So, from Gourd Beater, it's a weird name.
What the?
Gourd Beater,
Hell
a
yeah.
disappointment for me. Nope, sorry. Just did not like anything about this film. I stuck with it and watched it to the end, but wish I hadn't. Okay. Awful, boring, slow. Take a nap instead. I was fooled by all the 5-star reviews. What a waste of time. Horrible, slow, boring movie. Kindle customer. Did he watch it on a Kindle?
I think he's a self-proclaimed Kindle
Oh,
customer.
that's it. Well, that's good. Okay, so I should
That's
give
his
a little bit of
identity.
context. This movie has 40% 5 stars and 16% 1 stars. It has quite a 1-star bump, actually. So a lot of people feel like they've been tricked in watching this movie,
yeah,
it seems like.
Yeah.
Um, here's a Masia. Huh? What did I just click on? Please remove this BS from my history. So this person's just mad that they even clicked on it.
Like, does it say verified purchase or anything?
It does. It does say verified purchase, actually.
What if he accidentally bought it?
Oh, shit, so sad. 1 star. Honestly, the worst movie I've ever seen.
Holy shit. I love
Okay,
hyperbole.
so you don't know anything about the movie yet, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But let's
no,
see. Here we
they
go.
they all feel tricked.
Yeah, so here we go. Here's a guy. He talks about the movie. Here's the rundown. Spoilers. First 60 minutes. Nothing happens. Maybe a little intrigue, but a lot of unnecessary hugs and kisses and cliches. Last 30 minutes, standard predictable clusterfuck. The reveal lasts for seconds, and once you know the reveal, the rest of the movie is super predictable and worthy of fast forwarding. So there you go. Now you understand the plot,
A
right?
lot of hugs. Okay.
Oh, let me see if I can find one. Oh, here we go. This person's really mad. High ratings can't be legit. OMG, are you effing kidding me? They wrote effing. The second asinine Amazon movie I watched tonight. The only reason I can come up with for the high ratings is that the writers have friends that send bogus reviews. Bad plot, bad acting, predictable, stupid ending. Also, turned out to be a redundant slasher flick. I'm angry that I was duped into renting this trash. I want to be reimbursed. Verified purchase.
Okay, well, it's slasher. I've seen this movie.
You haven't seen this movie, but we're running out of reviews. Want a waste. He said I meant to say what a waste, but he put waste, and when he spelled waste like waistband.
Oh, wow! It's a double. It's a double whammy.
Okay, here we go. This guy seems like he
Yeah.
talks about the movie, actually. Talk, and more talk. Oh my god, I endured an hour of this garbage waiting for the plot to begin before I gave up and clicked off. Seriously, nothing happens during the first 60 minutes of a... What the fuck? I don't understand. This is such a strange...
Okay, so I've come up with an idea.
What do you think?
When someone types like an idiot, you have to read it like as it's written.
Okay,
You can't like translate it.
Okay.
think that, like-
Seriously. Nothing happens during the entire 60 minutes, but a diverse parentheses, i.e. PC parentheses, group setting around chatting and drinking wine. Just no plot to speak of. Did a plot unfold after the 60-minute mark? I don't know, and I don't even care. When making a film, especially a so-called suspenseful one, the viewer needs to be hooked in from the get-go. Watching annoyingly pretentious people sitting around a living room isn't going to do it. Speaking of the people, it was like an ad for diversity, lol. Interracial couple? Check. Gay couple? Check. Asian character? Check. Latino character? You got it. I'm surprised they didn't squeeze in a transvestite in there to find out the little. Jesus Christ, this person is.
That's awesome. This guy's this
This
guy's
guy's
got
a
his finger on the
fucking.
pulse.
That guy's a fucking idiot. Oh my god. When does anyone talk about the movie? They just say it's dumb and they hated it.
So it's like inside, they're drinking
So
wine, they're hugging
they're
and
in a living
kissing.
room, so we know that.
Yeah, it's like in a is it like like Heredity or something? No, not
You've guessed
Heredity.
this movie every time, and you've been wrong every time. So I've picked the movie that you guess every time. Now you don't remember it? Are you fucking kidding me?
Is it Interstellar?
What?
I'm
You
kidding.
never. You guess it was a joke.
What
Okay,
movie?
this one should
What
help
do
you.
what do I
Okay,
guess every time.
this
That's what-
review. This review will help you. A slow burn for a waste of character actors. The ending was clear within the first 3 minutes. Someone, if not everyone, was going to die. People are too polite and trusting in this movie, except for the protagonist, who is really bumming people out. The one suspicious guy sticks around just to be rude and to break gender norms by being saved by his date. This movie is so, quotations, hipster feminist flashback regurgitation and color palette dysphoria. That's what he wrote, and he put hyphens before everything. It is
awesome.
boring. The dinner party thriller, an oxymoron description, is filled with wishy-washy cult group think non-explanations. For example, the protagonist finds a video playing on a media device which proves to him the hosts are a part of a cult. Yet, let's stay for dessert and wine.
Oh, so it's Midsummer, whichever the other one.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
It's The Invitation.
When have I guessed the
You guess The Invitation every time.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you're always like, is it The Invitation? Is it that movie?
Go back. Okay, everyone watching these, go back and tell me if I've guessed the Invitation.
I
for
don't
any-
know. Okay, maybe you don't always
any
guess it, but anytime I talk about a movie and you're like, oh, is it The Invitation?
Like allude to it.
Yeah, that's. So I'm like, oh, that's the movie. I just love
I think
1-star
that's in
reviews
your
of just
head.
people
I
who are
think
just
that's in your
mad.
brain. What?
This person put error. His review is error.
Maybe he thinks this movie's an error.
Oh, this one is the second worst movie he's ever seen.
I want to know what the first one is.
My wife is so angry at me for choosing this. I may never be allowed to choose a movie again.
Oh no! This movie ruined his marriage.
I love that. That was probably a better story than the movie to that guy. Is the story that he wrote right there. Oh my gosh. Oh, what's in the viewer grab bag? Oh, we can talk about candy. I wonder who put that one in.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's find out. Well, I mean, let's
Okay.
find out what the best candy is.
Well, okay, best fruit snack candy. Do you have one?
Fruit snack?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a couple. Oh no, it has to be best, right? So for nostalgia's sake, do you remember in high school, like the FBLA, I think, or whatever, whichever
Future
group
Business
sold
Leaders of America.
of America, yeah, sold like these gummy snacks.
Oh, they sold gummy snacks. The only thing I
Yeah.
remember were like these god awful candy bars.
No, dude, they were like, it was good. I mean, it's like how do you describe it? Almost like a jelly. No, like those little teddy bears
But
that
they
are.
were they filled
gummies.
with Teddy Cum?
No, it didn't have any cum. They were just shaped like strawberries or whatever fruit it was supposed to simulate.
Oh, that's pretty good.
But I like those. Just it's like it's an easy kind of snack.
Is it
Although
like
they were
available,
tiny
or is it
kids.
only available?
Yeah, you can get them. Yeah, you can get them. They're a normal thing. It's like they're like fruits. So I would say like, I bet if you just Googled fruit snack. Oh yeah, it's like a Welch's fruit snack.
Oh, okay, okay. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. But I think I got one better.
Okay.
Black
okay.
Forest gummy bursts. They're filled with cum. They taste great, and they don't make your teeth feel like that they got covered in like cement when you're done eating them.
Are they made from Black Forest ham?
And they're all made from Black
And
Forest ham,
or at
organic.
least in the same forest that the Black Forest ham comes from.
Yes, yes, that's how they pick them off the trees like that.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
also a fan of there's these kind of it's nerds. It's like Nerds Rove, but it's in like a. It's not licorice, but it's like in a licorice kind of like a Twizzler. It's like basically like if you took Nerds and you
Oh,
beat them into a powder and you put them in a Twizzlers. There's a
yeah.
candy that's like this. That one's pretty good too.
That
That's
sounds really good.
yeah, that's banger. It's like it's in a pink package.
Uh-huh.
If you see it at the gas station, you should pick them up. They're pretty good. I like it a lot.
I'll check it out. Oh,
Yeah,
you know what I like? I like Carmelo a lot.
This is like a candy with
It's
caramel or chocolate,
yeah, yeah,
right?
it's a chocolate with like coating over caramel. They come in like 4 pips or so.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's really good. I love Carmelo, man. What other candy do I like? Because I'm not like a huge candy person, but then if I ever get kind of like in the mood, it's like, yeah, I could do that.
I
Like
could buy $50 worth of candy.
I could not. I'll get like a larger thing of candy because like I wanted maybe 1 or 2 of them, and then they just sit in my cupboard forever. Because
Oh yeah,
I
I
like
got
want
tricked in.
to have
I would never buy like a bulk
them.
thing again. I got tricked into buying like a bulk of Sour Patch Kids and like
Uh, I'm
first
not a
off,
kid.
they just don't
Those.
taste the same like as when they are in an individual bag. Like there's
Yeah,
something just
yeah.
happens
It
like
aerates or whatever.
something
Yeah.
yeah, something gets fucked up with them and they just it smelled gross and tasted nasty. I don't know. I just
Maybe your sweaty hands were.
yeah, I was like sweating in the bag, and then the sweat was coming back out, and like my foot would go over the thing, and then it would drip some more
That
sweat in.
and the toe jam would fall in, and it just kind of
Yeah,
breeds.
and the plantar warts, my dead skin off my feet would fall in, and I'd eat
Mm,
some of that instead. Like, wow, this Sour Patch Kid tastes awful.
this sour patch tastes amazing. The ringworms would fall in.
Yeah, those two. Yeah, I got some ringworms.
I was well, I mean, I was watching it was a video of like a it was Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and
Wow.
so this guy gets this dude into like this like figure 4 headlock or some shit, and then so the guy who wins ends up doing like he starts doing all this like acrobatics, like he just flips all over the place and like is like going around the mat like yeah, yeah, I'm the greatest, yeah, and then the ref gives him a loss
Wow.
because now it's up in the air whether it's like for actual like poor sportsmanship or he stepped out of the ring.
Oh,
There was a debate over like which was the
well, he
actual
sounds
case.
like a total asshole.
But yeah, I know. Well, that's why I was like, I'm glad he got that L, dude. Like, fuck you. Like, just take the win. Just don't be a gigantic loser. Like, it's one thing to be
He can't even be a gracious winner.
like, yeah, yeah.
Like you've already won. Like how are you that insecure? You need to like
I
go ape shit
know.
over it.
I know. Well, apparently that they made a rule that you can't do stuff like that because that was a huge problem, and turning this would last forever because people would spend all the time like celebrating, so
Just gloating in the
they
ring and being the
they can't
dumbass.
yeah they can't get on to the next one. But the reason I brought this up was some people think one of the reasons they have the rule where you can't step off the mat then go back on is because of ringworms.
What
Because
the?
ringworms are I guess are already an issue because it's like a mat and they like to hang out on there or something or like people's feet are dirty. But I'm like, as soon as I heard that, don't get me wrong, I was never considering getting into uh, BJJ as the pros call it. But like I'm super not getting into BJJ now. Like fuck that.
Yeah, what the
That
fuck?
sounds awful. Or any of those, like even wrestling. It's like, because I was in wrestling when I was in middle school, high school. It's like, dude, that was, well, I mean, for like 1 season each. So like when ninth grade into my freshman year, I did wrestling, and I'm like, this is not me. I
You're
am not
not a
a tough
Brazilian
dude.
jiu-jitsu.
Mm-mm, can't do it.
The only thing I know about Brazilian culture is they got some virus that makes women's asses huge or something.
A virus?
I don't know. It's a fucking.
Or is it an injection?
Well, hopefully both. It's
Because
like
I know that's like a pretty
maybe they
common
inject viruses.
Oh, there you go. We can both be right on this one.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's like what is it? Who's that dumb guy that I hate?
Which
Stupid.
one?
The,
There's a
the
lot.
the dumb meathead guy who does the podcast.
Oh, Joe Rogan?
Joe Rogan, yeah, that's like something he said one time on there. He's like, yeah, they got this virus where it makes women's asses huge. It makes men a bunch of like aggressive idiots. And I'm just like,
That guy is
I
so
gotta
awesome.
hope that's real because it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I guess speaking of dumb, we got shit take.
Hell yeah.
So
It's everyone's favorite.
this
Well,
week
second favorite.
is a bit of a controversial shit take. We're gonna be coming up with the shittiest take on the question, why should we censor the N-word on the radio?
I already have my take. It's short and sweet.
Oh, okay. You can go. I would like to say beforehand that these are not our honest opinions. These
Yeah, this
are
is-
us attempting to come up with the shittiest opinion
We're just trying
based
to
on a
say
controversial
jokes.
question. Okay, you got
Are
it.
you ready?
Yep,
It
I'm
empowers it empowers black people.
And
That's
then
why we should censor it.
you should censor it because it empowers black people.
Yeah, we can't have that. They've had it
Oh,
too
I
long.
understand. Oh, I get it. So you're like just you're taking the racist angle.
Yeah. Like this is like it's kind of like a Black Panther situation. Like we can't let them
That's like they're
be
like
doing this.
like May like we learned earlier, Georgia and May Day. You know, like who we can't give.
That's a call sign.
Yeah, we can't give them a call sign to rally behind.
Can't give them that power. Like it's bad enough they took that word from us.
Yeah.
Now to let them be able to use it on the airwaves. No, not gonna happen.
Yeah, not in white America.
No, not
that was a pretty good shit take. Mine's pretty similar. So my shit take is that when you think, this is the shit take. Okay, this is not my honest opinion.
There just needs to be like an alarm going off.
Yeah, like if I could edit it all, I would have like a flashing like this is not a real opinion. This is not my real opinion. This is somebody's real opinion. Okay, but this is not my real opinion. This is the shit take. When you think of black culture, you think of gangsters and crime. What do we associate with gangsters and crime? We associate the N-word. If we don't want to allow the N-word on the radio because we don't want black people to want to become a part of N-word culture. We want black people to become a part of white culture so they can be civilized. So we should censor it for their own benefit.
Their own good.
Their own good. Because we want to keep them from their bad culture.
I see. I see. You're liberating them.
Yes.
It's like taking
because their culture isn't bad in any relation due to white people. They had no part.
No,
it's
it's
just naturally bad.
Yeah.
I think we had the same take, which is like it's just mine was like
black people got fucked
like the white person's burden. We gotta help them, and you just want to go back to the old racist ways, which is like two flavors of like white people after the what is it when was the Civil Rights Act? Is that 76? Civil Rights Act.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where white racism went after 76. Is that there was the white racist that just like wanted to be racist, like or not wants, but like is racist, you know?
They brand the two branches that they went.
Yeah. Like there's two flavors of
they fractured. Yeah.
Yeah, there's two flavors that it's like.
Yeah.
I want to be racist because I want to do harm, and there's then there's like I'm racist because I think I know what's best.
Yeah.
And both of them are wrong.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of what a lot of racism was for a while. Now it's like there's just so much kind of different racism. It's fucking crazy. There's like fucking ethno racism kind of shit. There's like biological belief bullshit, like genetic stuff, all sorts of stupid shit that's all fucking really dumb, but we don't have time to go in all that shit. Maybe that's a thing.
That should be another episode or a segment. Yeah.
So we got not much left other than the No Way Out. the banger. The only
NWO.
reason any of this exists is to just reintroduce No Way Out.
You know what you should do? You should I I mean I could too, I
Yeah.
guess. Put timestamps.
Oh yeah,
Or
yeah.
at least like just a highlight, like if you want to see
I've thought about that, but
not
then I'd have to like
not
listen to it.
filler,
I'm
but then
pretty
you'd have to
lazy.
go through the whole thing. I know, yeah, that's why
Yeah,
I'm
we don't
like
have to go through the whole thing. We just have to find out when they start. So,
yeah. I'm like,
um,
I don't want to put that on you, but
yeah, we can. It's something I can figure out at some point. But anyway,
this is a behind the scenes look of
yeah,
the production of The Last Intellectuals Are Really Stupid.
yeah, which is
Yeah.
basically not. There's no production.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so
it
this
shows.
is the No Way Out.
Mhm.
You are in the grocery store.
Mhm.
It's coronavirus season.
Mhm.
You have inadvertently brought up 2 gallons of ice cream when the store policy only permits the purchase of 1 gallon of ice cream per customer. You are trying to buy 2. You got to get out of the store with 2 gallons of ice cream. You're at the cash register, and he is just the cash. I'm sorry, sir. You can't purchase 2 gallons of ice cream. We only have one per customer.
Where does it say that? I have
It's
no.
posted all around on all the doors. There's a limit. We have to ration supplies.
I haven't seen any kind of postage.
Well, I'm sorry. Your lack
to
of
that
awareness
effect.
doesn't mean that you're not held to the same standard of everybody else, sir.
This sounds like I'm kind of being, given the runaround here.
Sir, there are crying children behind you. They would love ice cream. Do you want to take the ice cream from them?
Who's to say that I don't have my own crying children that
Well,
want
I
their own
can't see
ice-
them, sir.
well, just because your lack of awareness of my children doesn't make them any less important, asshole.
Well, unfortunately, you're only one customer, and only one customer can have 1 gallon of ice cream.
Okay, how about this? I'll take the one ice cream, okay? But I'm not happy about it. And then I leave the store. I put the
You
my
go
big
rub some
groceries.
dirt on your
Yes,
upper lip.
yes, that's so funny. You go. I was gonna do like leaves or something, like something really stupid.
Fucking leaves. So
Like,
you come back in and you have leaves under your shirt to be like hair, and you got dirt on your upper lip for like facial hair, 5 o'clock shadow all over your face.
Yeah,
and you're bringing up the ice cream. Hey, didn't I see you before?
No, I also have sunglasses on too.
Oh.
To really add to the effect. And I come in and I say, "Hello, good sir. I've just come in to get myself a duck a pint of jolly old well, like cream, solid cream. That's what we call it in
we got some over there. The guy before tried to buy 2, the asshole.
I declare these are trying times. People are pulling a lot of unnecessary antics. And
that guy was a total asshole.
Quite, sir. And I go into the back and I get the ice cream and I check out.
And then, okay, wait. Looking at this. Mm-hmm. Hey, you got the same name as that guy, the asshole who came in here before.
Oh, I'm paying with
you got the same wallet as that asshole who came in here before.
It's a very common wallet, sir. I believe I got this as a government handout.
Are you currently employed as a man collecting welfare?
I may have been in that position at one time in my life, and I have thus worked my way up the corporate ladder. I have pulled myself up from my knickers, and I am in a very comfortable place now where I can get whatever I want. But
buy 1 gallon of ice cream?
But I only want this one duck a pint of solid cream.
Paper or plastic?
I will take it out with neither, sir. And then I grab it and I run out.
And you run out. Why? There's something odd.
Full sprint.
There's something odd about a guy who's like covered in mud and leaves talking like that. What the fuck?
Did I
Oh
get
my
it? Did I
god.
win?
Well, it sounds like you got it. You
Yeah!
just put a bunch of.
Woo! Easy as getting pie.
Yep, you got it. And then now you can eat it with your
Oh,
pie. You can have
baby.
all the pie and all the ice cream in the world.
Do you know what that's called?
Oh, I don't know.
It's a la mode.
Oh,
When something's a la mode, it means it has ice cream on top of it.
a la modi.
A la mode, as not French people would say.
Yeah, screw them. Frenchies equal the big dumb.
If you apparently, frog is like the N word to most French people. It's just
Oh, I mean, I've heard
you've heard that
French people
that like
referred to
rock,
as frogs before, but I've never heard that was that they were that mad
they
about
like
it.
they fucking hate it, dude. Like I always is it just because they like eat frog legs and then people just took it to that extreme, calling them frogs.
I
Like
don't know
where'd that come from?
the origin, but it sounds like some white fragility. They're too fragile.
Ah, why do you have to call me an amphibian?
And that's the good thing about like
Like
not
they
having being part of like the dominant culture. You don't have to really give a fuck about like
real
racially
things.
racial offenses. I've never been offended by anything that's like offensive towards white people. It's something you laugh about, like
Yeah.
it's because it's just like you have like there's just no power behind it because there's no
Yeah.
systemic issues you have to deal with. It's if anything, it's not a compliment, but it's like you would try to shame the person about having like some privileges,
Being too
which
beautiful.
which would work, but it wouldn't work on a person that usually you would be accusing of that, because the person that you would usually accuse of that would be too stupid to comprehend what a privilege is.
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
know it's
Yeah.
kind of one of those like inadvertent offenses that doesn't work too often. But
Just falls on
wow, we
deaf
really
ears.
learned a lot about Earth in the year 2020.
I
The
hope.
data's just flowing in, and as new news comes in,
News.
we have been uh,
Analyzing.
positioned as the last
Mm-hmm.
intellectuals of Earth to figure out what happened to their
Mm-hmm.
exploded planet,
Mm-hmm.
because we can see it's blown up now.
We're marauding historians, as it were. We're almost
Yeah,
like archaeologists, really.
yeah, going through the digital archives. We just have a
Mm-hmm.
big satellite dish that's just sucking in all the
I
signals.
I hope these Earthicans sound like a very interesting group of folk, and I hope everything turns out okay. But I know they don't, because civilization, as they know it, no longer exists.
Yeah, the whole planet blew
That
up, but
that saddens me.
hopefully we can, you know,
Learn
make
from their
sense of what
mistakes.
happened.
That too, yeah.
Yeah. Well, till the next laser feed comes in.